My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of 3,000 Years of Longing. Okay, for someone who grew up with a speech impediment, this title is actually really hard for me to say because I always had trouble with my TH sounds. I always had trouble with yields and longing. Like anything that it begins with an L, I've always struggled with. So this title is just my speech impediment's worst nightmare. But this is a movie that I was really excited for. Like the idea of George Miller making a movie about a genie, I was very curious about it and if this was going to be like a weird action fantasy movie. But then it came out and nobody liked it. I heard nothing but terrible things about it, that it was really boring and yeah, so I didn't go see it, but I did just watch it, and this is an interesting movie. I was going to review it shortly after I watched it, but it's one I have to sit with because I'm not sure entirely on how I feel. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I loved lots about it, but it's just a movie that by the end, I'm not sure. And I'm still not entirely sure, but let's begin talking about what I did like, beginning with the performances. You've got Tilda Swinton, who always delivers. She's such a great actress and she's great in this movie. Wish she had a bit more to do, but nonetheless, she's still very good. And you've got Idris Elba, who might be the most underused actor ever. Like, the guy's such a great actor and he doesn't get the material to prove it as much as he should. But he does a very good job in this movie, especially since so much of it's reliant on him telling stories. You also got the technical aspects of this movie, which I loved. The CGI in this movie I thought looked really great. You've got some great, interesting decisions made. And it's a very well shot movie as well. I also love the editing. Some of the scene transitions I just thought were so well done. And what I will say is that this movie is clearly George Miller's vision purely. I don't think the studios interfered in any way. This is clearly the movie he wanted to make. And whether or not that's a good movie is another question, but I like seeing a vision come through as clearly as this one does. And I do love lots of what he's trying to do. Like, the ambition of this story is very low stakes, but it's somewhat refreshing. It's just this woman and this genie talking and telling stories. And that's really about it. But my issues with the movie comes from the fact that the stories aren't really all that memorable. Idris Elba narrates them, and that because of that, all the characters in the story, I just found it harder to connect to. You know, if he starts telling a story and it focuses on an actor playing a character and he discovers him, and we got a 20 to 30 minute long story of what happened with him and Idris Elba, that would be much better instead of the constant narration. Because it just didn't engage me as much as I would have liked. I wish they went about these stories like they're fables and actually see them play out in the way that they're intended to. And that's my biggest issue with this movie, that in concept, I love everything it's trying to do, but in the execution, I just found it somewhat lacking. And it doesn't help that the last act goes in this weird direction that's reliant on Tilda Swinton making a dumb decision. And then it becomes more of a romance, and that aspect did not work for me at all. I didn't buy these two being like that in any way. And I get what they're trying to do. I just don't think it works. It's really frustrating. But this is a movie that I wish I liked more than I did. It's not a bad movie. I'm still leaning positive on it. I just wish the stories being told had more impact. That they actually set up the characters in those stories and played them out in that kind of way. Because all the technical aspects of this movie are fantastic. I love the ambition of everything going on here. But it doesn't get to the level it should. So I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a 5 out of 10 with a slight recommendation. Okay, did you watch 3,000 Years of Longing? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon. And Gavin, out.